Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start this lesson off by giving all the praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Honors to all the brothers who are fervently preaching the word in sincerity and in faith. Shalom to the Akwath, to our the sincere sisters, and Shalom to the scattered Israelites who are amongst these heathen nations and look like these heathens. Now, this lesson is going to be based on this headline in regards to how the U.S. is being perceived due to this war. So, Lord's will, you're edified. It says U.S. is being humiliated by Iran, says Germany's MERS, as Europe's patience wanes. German Chancellor Friedrich Merz was unusually outspoken about the war in Iran on Monday, saying the U.S. was being humiliated by Iran. President Donald Trump canceled further planned talks with negotiators in Pakistan last weekend. Former NATO chief Jens Stoltenberg told CNBC that wars are dangerous and escalation was still a distinct possibility while talks remain touchy and uncertain. Yeah, so like the men of the Lord have been saying, we're living in the time of the fall of Esau. These Edomites, these so-called self-proclaimed white people. Nobody is afraid of Esau. Everybody's just fed up with Esau. Even Esau is fed up with Esau. And this division amongst these Edomites is going to continue to happen until ultimately the Lord uses the U.S.'s allies or former allies to nuke this place. Ecclesiasticus 25:7. There be 9 things which I have judged in mine heart to be happy, and the 10th I will utter with my tongue. A man that have joy of his children, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy. And we are watching the fall of our enemy take place. Our chief enemy being these so-called self-proclaimed white people who are the biblical Edomites. We're watching them fall. We're watching the whole world turn against them. We're watching them turn against each other. You know, Esau's woman is turning against him. You know, his European allies are turning against him. Especially the Edomite over here. You know, the Lord really used Donald Trump to just cause so much division amongst the Edomites. Nobody's vibing with America. Nobody likes America. Everybody is so fed up with this place. And everybody's fed up with Esau. Luke 12:51, suppose ye that I'm come to give peace on earth? I tell you nay, but rather division. And that's clearly what's happening. These Edomites, they're divided against each other, and the Lord is just furthering that division. And this war was a major, crack in the, in the Edomite stronghold. Because, Trump has done a lot of messed up stuff that has caused the U.S.'s allies to look at the U.S. a certain type of way. But this war in particular, this was a serious thing. This was a big deal. And the effects of this war are still happening. All those European nations, they're still experiencing, problems as a result of this war, because this war isn't over. And Donald Trump and Netanyahu are to blame for this war. And everybody sees it, and everybody's calling out Trump and Netanyahu. And everything that Trump tries to do to change the narrative and make himself look like the good guy, it just blows up in his face. Because the U.S. has never been the good guy. Ever since this wicked place got established, all the U.S. has done is cause chaos on the earth. And now everybody is calling out the U.S. And more importantly, everybody is acknowledging that Esau, whether it's the Edomite here in America or anywhere else in the world, Esau is the problem. The so-called white man is the problem. These Edomites, they don't have the cover. They're covering over the eyes of the people isn't working like it used to. So yeah. One second. Mark 3:23. And he called them unto him and said unto them in parables, how can Satan cast out Satan? Verse 24. And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And the United States is divided against itself. Someone said a couple of years back that this should really be called the divided states of America, because you have the red states versus the blue states. So clearly America is divided. And there's just more and more division happening within this country. Racially, politically. Everyone's against each other. It says, and if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And that's right. If people within that kingdom can't get on the same page and they're constantly going against each other, nothing is going to get done. No progress will ever be made, and things are only going to continue to fall apart. And America, the United States, is a prime example of that. Verse 25, and if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. And this is the house of Esau. These so-called white people, they are so divided against each other. Every time you turn around, you see the Edomite woman, the so-called white woman, getting on social media and just tearing apart the so-called white man. And it's a beautiful thing to see, because Esau did that to our women. Esau turned the so-called black woman, Hispanic woman, and Native American woman against the so-called black man, Hispanic man, and Native American man. And now the Lord has turned Esau's woman against him. See, all the wickedness that Esau did, it's now being turned upon him. Now he's getting a taste of his own medicine. And it's a beautiful thing to see. Verse 26. And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand, but hath an end. And on a global scale, That's what we're seeing. These Edomites are turning on each other. In particular, these Edomite nations like Canada, the UK, Germany, Italy, France, any Edomite controlled nations, they are turning against the US. They're turning against Trump. Trump is calling them, weak and calling them cowards and all of that because they don't want to get involved in this illegal war. And like the German chancellor said, that Iran is humiliating the US right now. And more specifically, they're humiliating Trump. Every move, like I said earlier, every move that Trump makes is falling apart. It's the wrong move. These Edomites, they can't make the right move to save their life. They're telling people, oh yeah, the war is going great. The US is winning. We're killing all Iran's leaders, and we're destroying their military capability and all of this. But everybody knows that's a lie. Everybody knows that, Trump and his wicked administration are just saying that to try to make themselves look good. Like Iran, they're very capable of still fighting back and defending themselves. And they've been doing very well in defending themselves since this war started. So every narrative that Esau here in the US tries to throw out there, nobody's going for it anymore. Esau can't pull the wool over people's eyes like he could 20 years ago. Nobody's believing Esau's lies anymore. Even here in the US, amongst the MAGA crowd, Trump's most loyal cult followers, even they're starting to splinter. Even a lot of them are like, yeah, this has gotten out of hand, and they're backing out. So everything is falling apart for these Edomites. Their time is coming to an end, and they can't stop it. Job 14:5, seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds, that he cannot pass. And that's right. The Lord has put bounds on Esau that he cannot pass. And he's about to hit his limit. And that's why everything is just falling apart more and more for these Edomites. And Thawadi Yahal Bashim Yahushai, for allowing myself and all the sincere brothers and sisters to be alive and to have been blessed with the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of these scriptures so that we can understand what's happening and we can, be rejoicing in the fact that our oppression and our captivity is almost at an end. The Lord is about to turn the tables. We are about to be the ones ruling, and Esau is about to be our slave. The Lord is about to take upside down and put it right side up. He's about to put everyone where they belong. And Esau, these Edomites, these so-called white people, whether they be the men, the women, or the children, they all belong on the bottom. They are the scum of the earth. They are the degenerates. And the Lord is going to put them in their place. And they're going to remain there for 1,000 years as they serve the most hardcore, brutal slavery any nation has ever experienced. And then these Edomites are going to get rounded up, and they're all going to get wiped off the face of the earth. because they are the wicked. And once the kingdom of heaven is established and built up for free by these Edomites and these other heathen nations, the Lord will have no more reason or no more purpose for these Edomites. So they're going to be removed off the earth altogether. And what a joyous time that will be. Not just for us, the Israelites, but for the world in general. Because even though these other nations, they are also our enemies, Esau has also oppressed them as well. So everybody's going to be rejoicing when these Edomites finally fall. And people are already rejoicing because they see the downfall coming. They see the writing on the wall. They know where things are going. Everybody's done with Esau. Everybody's tried to go along to get along with Esau, and that never worked because Esau is evil and wicked. And the same way that these devils came into power is the same way that they're going to leave power, which is through violence. So with that, I'm going to wrap it up here. In closing, I want to give all the praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Rakakudash, the Wadi Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, for putting the spirit on me to do this lesson. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Honors to our brothers who are still fervently preaching the word in sincerity and in faith. Shalom to the sincere Akwath, and shalom to the scattered Israelites who are amongst these heathen nations and look like these heathens. Hope you all stay strong, stay safe, stay fervent, stay circumspect, stay prayed up, and Ottawa, Ratazah. Until next time, shalom.